Last Sunday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers faced the challenging task of trying to spoil Joe Montana's highly publicized comeback with the Chiefs.
Now, enough said about the opposition. It doesn't matter who you play. Doesn't even matter who you play. It's how you play. Now, let's just get out there and bring to life everything we've been working on for months and months and months. Everything you've been dreaming of doing since you've been playing this game. That means that nobody, men, stops short of the end of this ball game. Nobody stops short of the end of each play. But we keep making ourselves have that wake-up call. Wake up, sharpen up, concentrate. That's all we need.
Many have said that all the Chiefs have needed was a quarterback, and against the Bucs, Joe Montana showed that he still had all the tools that a great one needs. Joe proved to be the quick, clear thinking field general and championship-caliber passer that the Chiefs haven't had since the days of Len Dawson.
Did you call? Never called. All right, now, did you go to belly and then audible out of it, or did you call something different in the huddle?
Called belly and then audible to 200 Jet Dragon. 376.
Went from belly to 200 Jet Dragon on the audible.
First and 10 for the Buccaneer 19. Back to pass. Joe Montana sets up, winds up, hesitates, now throws a pass into the end zone. A diving catch, touchdown! Willie Davis between two Buccaneer defenders. And folks, as they say, this could be the start of something big.
Hey, listen, it's 10-3. It's a one touchdown. Let's just get in this game. The second half, when we come back, we've been down 20-3 and one going away. Nothing's going on here except we got a hard-fought battle, but every play's important now, every play.
Few quarterbacks have ever understood the importance of every play better than number 19. And against the Bucs, Montana made his plays count.
Over the shoulder, cut to the 10 by JJ. They'll chase him into the end zone, touchdown!
Trailing in the third quarter, the sluggish Bucs offense got a wake-up call.
It's still just two. Nothing's happened since halftime. They're just methodically eating that clock up, trying to get things going. All we have to do is get one drive going, get back into the game. It's all different, everything. Wake up! You're looking at me like I'm not even talking. You're not hearing me. Get your ass in gear. Somebody help your teammate up.
Unfortunately for Weish, sleepwalking blocking and an aggressive Chiefs defense kept the Bucs from scoring a touchdown all day long.
Wake up! Wake up!
The Chiefs, on the other hand, moved confidently on the arm of their new quarterback.
Looks right, dumps it off at the 10-yard line to Marcus. He's on the 5. He almost breaks a tackle. He dives in. Touchdown down the near sideline.
By the fourth quarter, both head coaches were looking to inspire. One to finish, the other to forget.
They are flat on their ass. They got no hope.
16 slash, give us the play. Terry King right.
We got 3 touchdown lead. The only thing that puts them in a game is if we get careless with the ball. Let's not lose our edge.
Now look, we get the ball back. We'll get the ball back with about 3 or 4 minutes to go. When we get it back, we're going to put the ball in the end zone and finish that way. That's the way you finish the game. You don't finish it feeling sorry for yourself. We'll go spread and we'll go regular. Now we need some protection so that we can get some things done and get ourselves ready for next week. This one is probably gone, but the season is not. The preparation for the season is not over. We just lost a game along the way. Okay. Now let's get our minds and look at the bigger picture. Don't worry about a small one. All right.
When it was over, the Chiefs had buried the Bucs. And this week, they hope to find the Oilers as gracious a host as Tampa Bay.
Hey, congratulations. You've forgotten nothing. You're learning more.
Good luck.
Say hello to Jennifer for us.
Sam Weiss, who was Joe Montana's first quarterback coach with the San Francisco 49ers, of course, was referring to Joe's wife, Jennifer. He should have said hello to the kids, too, but I'll assure you this, that Joe Montana is not going to get the same reception and hospitality when he goes to the Dome in Houston to play the Oilers this week. What do you think of the Montana era?
Well, listen, Joe Montana is not only a great quarterback, the great asset that he brought is the Bill Walsh-trained offensive coordinator, Paul Hackett. Hackett is now running the offense for the Kansas City Chiefs, which means, finally, thank goodness, it's going to retire that smash mouth, losing big back, one-dimensional offense of Marty Schottenheimer's is finally on the shelf. Creativity is back on the offense in Kansas City. They're going to need it this week because they play the Houston Oilers' bombastic Buddy Ryan and his bounty hunters.
That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful, wasn't it? You know, we've all heard the rumors this week that Buddy Ryan has a bounty out on Joe Montana's head. I just don't buy that one at all. But I do think that he's told his defensive linemen, William Fuller and Sean Jones and Ray Childress, hey, listen, the easiest way for us to win this football game is to get Joe Montana back in the training room. And let's face it, Joe's going to be facing that all season long.
Yeah, and Joe hurt his wrist last week, and he's questionable for this game. But if he is healthy, it's the defense, not the offense, particularly the secondary that Kansas City's worried about because they have a lot of new people back there, people who haven't worked together for very long. And when you play the run and shoot with 4 wideouts, you need 5, 6, and 7 defensive backs. I would look for Warren Moon to try to exploit that inexperienced secondary. Now, Mr. Buonacani, talking about the team that doesn't lose. They've been to the playoffs 3 years in a row. What about this game?
Well, if I was Marty Schottenheimer, I would keep Joe Montana on the bench this week, rest his wrist, and prepare for the rest of the year because Houston's going to win with or without him.
All right. They still have 2 great pass rushers, Derek Thomas and Neil Smith, and their defensive line this year has more depth than they did a year ago. They'll put the heat on Warren Moon, and they'll win.
I thought you hit on the key earlier. Kansas City secondary isn't nearly as good as that Saints secondary that really embarrassed Houston last week. Houston and Warren Moon, they should bounce back this week. I like the Oilers.
Well, when all is said and done, the key is going to be Joe Montana. Speaking of Joe Montana, the quarterback of the 80s, he's trying to bring the Chiefs a Super Bowl title in the 90s. This future Hall of Famer may have a new team, but he's got the same old attitude, as we see in this week's cover story.
Whitey Tittle told me one time, he says, you know, kid, he said, they'll love you when you're young. In the middle, they may hate you, but if you're doing well, they'll like you. But then again, when you get old, they'll love you again no matter what. So it's kind of gone that way.
And so goes the love affair that people in sport have with Joe Montana, an athlete who refused to believe his career was over, refused to accept retirement, 4 Super Bowl rings, and the Hall of Fame as payment for his 14 years spent in San Francisco. Number 16 couldn't end it that way.
The excitement's back. The last 2 years were very difficult mentally and physically. To be able to put all that behind me, put all the critics behind me, the guys who would say I would never throw again and never play again, and kept analyzing my arm to be something that it really wasn't, and it feels good. It feels great, actually.
I look back at my career in broadcasting, I think of the Lenny Dawsons, I think of the Theismann, I think of the Joe Namath, the class people, the outstanding athletes over the past 30 years. They all have an aura about them. They have a winning aura. When they step on the field, there's a certain excitement that begins. It makes the people get excited. It makes the teammates get excited. When they're on the field, they seem to work better as a team unit to get the ball into the end zone. That's what Joe Montana is bringing back to this team.
Something Kansas City's been searching for the past 17 years, a quarterback to rekindle the Len Dawson magic of the 60s and early 70s.
I want to introduce the greatest quarterback in pro football, Lenny Dawson.
In fact, since Dawson retired, the Chiefs have drafted 10 quarterbacks, including 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round. They signed 1 unknown and 2 veteran starters as free agents, traded for 2 others, and signed MVPs from 2 other pro leagues. But this time, Joe Montana brings the one ingredient that's been missing from the recipe.
These people have been talking about winning a Super Bowl. Montana can come in here and he can say, hey, I'll show you what it takes to win a Super Bowl. He has been there, and these people know it. A lot of times they really don't know how hard they have to work to get to and win a Super Bowl. Joe Montana does.
And if there ever was one Chief who knew what it took to win it all, it's Len Dawson, a player Montana used to imitate as a kid growing up.
You would see a lot of them because they were winning, and they had those big games with the Raiders, and he was always Dawson to Taylor is what was the thing that stuck in my mind, and that's what we'd go out in the backyard and throw, and of course I had to be Lenny. I couldn't be So I'd have my neighbor diving all over the place for the ball, but it was a lot of fun.
It's kind of eerie because he is an awful lot like what I was physically from that point to the type of offense that he is running, much like what we ran in the 60s and early 70s. And I see a lot of myself in Joe Montana.
An athlete who, in many ways, is no different from the rest of us.
If I didn't take this step, I would be always wondering, oh, God, what would happen if I'd done this? Should I have done this? Should I not? And this gives me an opportunity to get back on the field and play for the Super Bowl. Everybody says, well, you've had 4 Super Bowls. But it's like anything. If you don't know what it's like, then you really don't miss it as much. But once, it's like having a piece of chocolate, and they give you a piece of chocolate, and if you'd never had chocolate, you wouldn't really miss it. But once you have it, you understand what it's about, and you want to go back. And that's the biggest thing, is getting back to the Super Bowl.
The cover of the Chiefs media guide shows a football breaking through a barrier. Even though there's no mention of Joe Montana, the message is clear. Kansas City is relying on the Montana experience, arm, and attitude to take the Chiefs to a new level, to break through that playoff barrier and head towards something truly super.
Just ahead on Inside the NFL.